couldn't stop looking up. I stepped out at the station with a suitcase in my hand. The building stood above me like something I couldn't understand. Back home the sky felt endless. Hear the skyline on the view, and I stood there for a moment, not knowing what to do. I thought I'd seen the world, but I hadn't seen this. I couldn't stop looking up at the glass and steel above, at the lights that seemed to promise everything I'd ever dreamed of. I couldn't stop looking up, like the answer was somewhere there. Maybe if I climbed high enough, I'd become somebody here. Everybody moved so quickly, like they knew exactly where to go, while I stood reading street signs, trying not to let it show. Back home I knew every corner, every road and every tree. Here I was, just another face in a city too big for me. It was frightening and beautiful at the same time. I couldn't stop looking up at the towers touching clouds, at the lives behind the windows and the energy of the crowd. I couldn't stop looking up, certain this was where I'd start a brand new chapter of my life, with a fire inside my heart. Back then I thought success lived somewhere above the ground, like all the things I'd ever wanted could be found in those tall buildings. I couldn't stop looking up, and maybe that's why I stayed. The city felt like a mountain I was born to try and climb. I couldn't stop looking up, and I didn't want to, because for the very first time the future felt close enough to touch. I couldn't stop looking up. The city was bigger than my dreams, and that's exactly why I loved it. I thought nobody could see me walking through those crowded streets, thousands of faces passing by, never looking back at me. Back home every person knew me, knew my family and my name. Here I disappeared so easily, and somehow I like the change. For the first time in my life, I could be anyone. I thought nobody everybody thought they knew. I rented a room above the market, barely big enough to sleep, but every night I stared outside at a future calling me. And nobody cared where I came from, nobody asked where I'd been. All that mattered was tomorrow, not the place I'd always lived. The city didn't know my story, and I didn't mind at all. I thought nobody could see me, not the dreams inside my chest, not the doubts I tried to hide, or the fears I never said. Made me wanna climb higher. Back then I called it freedom. Back then I called it growth. I didn't realize loneliness can wear the same clothes. I thought nobody could see me. Maybe that was true, but somewhere in becoming someone else, I started losing pieces too. Exactly what I wanted. I thought nobody could see me, and I mistook that feeling for freedom. Learned to walk faster a few weeks after I arrived. Nobody seemed to slow down. Everybody had somewhere to be in life. Back home, people stopped for coffee, talk beneath the evening sky. Here the seconds felt expensive, and every minute rushed by. The city kept moving, so I did too. I learned to walk faster, I learned to lower my eyes, I learned how to keep moving without asking why. I learned to walk faster, like everyone around me. And somewhere in that hurry, I stopped noticing simple things. The mornings came much earlier, the night stayed bright and long. I started measuring my days by how much I got done. Every goal became another, every finish line moved a the less I lived instead. Success looked beautiful from far away. I learned to walk faster. I learned to fill my time. I learned how to stay busy and call it building a life. I learned to walk faster till the weeks became a blur, and I barely noticed how much I had changed. Sometimes I'd catch my reflection in a passing window pane, and for a second I'd see a stranger wearing my old name. I learned to walk faster, and maybe I had to then. A country boy with big ambitions, trying hard to fit in. I learned to walk faster, but looking back today, I think I left a little piece behind. Every step along the way, I learned to walk faster, but I never felt taller. Every morning I woke up thinking about the next step, the next paycheck, the next promotion, the next thing I hadn't reached yet. Yesterday was never enough, not for the man I wanted to be. The city kept showing me people with more than I could see. The higher I climbed, the higher I wanted to go. I wanted more than yesterday, more than what I had, more than the dreams that once made me glad. I wanted more than yesterday, and maybe that's the truth. The city didn't change me overnight, it simply fed what was already there. I started staying later, working long after dark, watching office windows glowing like stars above the park. I told myself it was temporary, just a few more months of sacrifice. But every goal I finally reached created another one to chase. The finish line kept moving, and I kept following it. I wanted more than yesterday, more than my small town past, more than the boy beside the river who thought simple things could last. I wanted slipped away. I wanted more than yesterday. Yesterday kept getting farther away. I used to count the sunsets back when life moved slow. Now I counted deadlines and places I had to go. Every day was filled completely. Every hour had a plan. And somehow being overwhelmed made me feel like a better man. The busier I became, the more important I felt. I fell in love with being busy, with never having time, with chasing one more opportunity and calling it life. I fell in love with being busy, with calendars and phones. And for a while I thought success meant never being alone. The weekends started disappearing, the seasons came and went. Birthdays turned into messages that I forgot to send. The city always had another reason to keep me moving on. And every time I slowed down, I felt like I was doing something wrong. I thought exhaustion was proof that I was winning. I fell in love with being busy, with living in fast forward, with measuring my value by how much I could afford. I fell in love with being busy, and maybe that's the truth, 'cause staying still long enough might have shown me what I was losing. Back then silence felt dangerous, and empty space felt strange. So I filled every corner of my life before I had to think too much. I fell in love with being busy, and I got very good at it. Every dream I used to chase started turning into habits. Oh, I fell in love with being busy, so one day I couldn't see the difference between building a life and simply staying occupied. I fell in love with being busy and forgot to ask myself why. Back home I'd watch the sunset almost every evening, sitting by the riverbank, thinking about nothing. The sky would turn to gold, then orange, then fade away. And somehow that was enough to fill an entire day. I never thought I'd stop noticing it. I stopped watching the sunset somewhere along the way. The city kept me working till the light was gone each day. I stopped watching the sunset without even knowing when. One day it was important, the next day it wasn't. The windows in my office reflected evening skies, but I was looking at numbers and deadlines every night. Outside the colors faded, inside the screen stayed bright, and I kept telling myself everything would be worth it in time. Success asked for my attention, and I gave it everything. I stopped watching the sunset, 'cause tomorrow felt too close. There was always something waiting, always somewhere I should go. I stopped watching the sunset, and looking back it's strange how the smallest things disappear before we notice they've changed. The sun still fell each evening, the sky still burned with light. The only thing that vanished was the man who used to stop and watch. I stopped watching the sunset, and I didn't miss it then. I was too busy building dreams and chasing bigger plans. I stopped watching the sunset, sometimes late at night. I wonder what else I stopped seeing while I was reaching for a different life. I stopped watching the sunset, I never noticed the day it happened.
Thought I was becoming someone, remember getting my first office high above the city streets. A view I used to dream about back when I was 17. I stood there by the window, looking at the world below, thinking of the boy beside the river from so many years ago. For the first time, it felt like all the hard work mattered. I thought I was becoming someone I'd be proud to be, someone who could point to the skyline and say, I made it here somehow. With every step I climbed, and every dream that once felt distant finally started feeling mine. The paychecks kept getting bigger, but my name carried a little weight. People started listening when I had something to say. I bought things I once wanted, things I couldn't afford before, and every small success made me hungry for a little more. The city kept rewarding me, and I kept wanting more. I thought I was becoming someone, the kind of man I'd imagined back when I watched the highway from that old fence line. I thought I was becoming someone, and honestly maybe I was, but I never stopped to ask myself what kind of someone I'd become. Back then success felt simple, just keep climbing higher. I didn't know a man can gain the world while slowly losing sight of himself. I thought I was becoming someone, and I wore that feeling proudly. Every promotion, every victory felt like proof that I belonged. I thought I was becoming someone, standing in those city lights, never noticing how far I traveled from the boy I used to be. I thought I was becoming someone, and maybe that's where the story changed. Mama called on Tuesday while I was still at work.
my phone lit up beside me. But I told myself later. Then later turned to midnight, and midnight turned to sleep. By the time I thought about it, another week had slipped from me. I wasn't trying to forget, I just kept running out of time. I didn't call home this week, and I hate saying that out loud, 'cause there was a time I'd count the days till I could come back around. I didn't call home this week, not because I didn't care, but somewhere between chasing dreams, I stopped being as present there. Mama left a short voicemail, said the weather had been good. The river rose a little higher than they thought it ever would. She asked me how I was doing, if I'd been eating right, and told me not to work too hard before she said goodnight. I listened to that message twice, then saved it in my phone. I didn't call home this week, and somehow that felt strange. The boy who hated leaving wouldn't recognize this change. Oh, I didn't call home this week, and maybe that's the truth. The city wasn't pulling me away, I was slowly letting go. Back then I thought distance was measured mile by mile. I didn't know it could happen, one missed call at a time. I didn't call home this week, and next week came the same. The days kept getting faster, and I kept taking the blame. I didn't call home this week, but somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice kept asking me, when did home become an afterthought? I didn't call home this week, and that bothered me more, and I admit it. woke up before sunrise in an apartment 20 floors high. The city slowly came alive. Outside my window lights, I poured a cup of coffee and stared into the dawn, when a strange thought crossed my mind. It stayed with me all day long. It came so quietly, I almost missed it. It's been so long since I dreamed of the fields, so long since I saw that river in my sleep. There was a time those memories visited me every night. Now years have passed and I don't know when they stop. I used to dream of gravel roads and summer winds through corn, fishing by the riverbank on early country mornings. I used to wake up smiling with home still on my mind. Now all my dreams are elevators, deadlines and city lights. When did that happen? How did I not see it? It's been so long since I dreamed of the fields, so long since I heard the crickets sing. The places that once lived inside me have grown quieter somehow, and that realization scares me more than it should. Oh, I didn't choose to forget, at least I don't think I did. Life just kept moving faster and memories slowly gave way. Maybe home didn't disappear, maybe I stopped visiting, even in my dreams. It's been so long since I dreamed of the fields, and suddenly I miss them tonight. Not the land itself, but the man I was back then. It's been so long since I dreamed of the fields. Now I finally see the city didn't take them from me. I simply stopped looking back. It's been so long since I dreamed of the fields, and for the first time I wish I still did. When I first arrived here, I was looking everywhere, at the towers and the traffic, and the dreams hanging in thought this was the answer to every question in my heart. Like everything I'd ever wanted was waiting for me from the start. And for a while I truly believed it. I thought the city had everything, everything a man could need. A chance to build a bigger life, a place where dreams could breathe. I thought the city had everything, and maybe it almost did. But there are some things money can't buy, and some things success can't give. The city gave me opportunities, more than I had ever known. It gave me crowded avenues and a place to call my own. It gave me nights of celebration, mornings filled with plans. It gave me reasons to believe I could become a different man. And every year I wanted a little more. I thought the city had everything, the future I had chased for years, the life I used to imagine while staring past those fields. I thought the city had everything, so I gave it all my time, never noticing the things I loved were slowly slipping from my mind. Maybe that's the way it happens. Maybe nobody sees the cost. You keep collecting what you wanted till you forget what you've lost. I thought the city had everything, and standing here tonight, looking out across these buildings, I still love every light. I thought the city had everything, but lately I'm not so sure, 'cause some part of me keeps searching for something I can't find anymore. I thought the city had everything, and maybe that's where I was wrong. The city had almost everything, except the place where I belong. I thought the city had everything, but something was still missing.